In this video, I'm about to share with each of you all my biggest kept secret on how I've kept my 3 big bore engines right behind me reliable, dependable, race ready, and I also believe that because of the secret I'm about to share with y'all, my engines haven't blown up on me. Stay tuned, you're not gonna wanna miss it. If you're new to the channel, don't worry. I'm gonna cover each motorcycle very briefly so you can understand what I'm talking about. The first one up is my 131 Trask Turbo Kit motorcycle that's pushing an average of 200 horsepower in the daily, but with my boost controller, it pushes upwards of 230 or plus horsepower. The next one we're gonna talk about is my 2019 Mako Shark CVO. This motorcycle is great, just like my other ones, and is equipped with a 131 cubic inch engine pushing 167 horsepower and around 155 or so torque to the wheel. And lastly is my latest build. It's a 2023 CVO that has a 153 cubic inch engine built by the one and only All-American Cycle, and this engine is pushing 200 horsepower to the wheel and 178 foot-pounds of torque. If you're new to the channel and want to know more about each of these motorcycles, I have exclusive videos of each of them on my video page there on YouTube, so go check it out. Let's get over here with my 153, and my biggest kept secret, you all, is the oil. Yes, I change my oil all the time. I change my oil by sight. A lot of you guys may be wondering, what does that mean? Well, it's pretty simple. If you pull your dipstick and it looks dark or it looks dirty, I dump the oil. I don't care if the motorcycle has 200 miles in traffic or 2,000 miles on the highway. As soon as I see my engine oil that gets dark, I dump the oil and I change it on the spot. It's only to get the oil is $100 or so, and that to me is the best insurance you can have to keep your motorcycle running properly. Of course, there's a lot of other things to consider in terms of engine components, but for the most part, if your motorcycle is running just right, and you stay on top of your oil and your oil levels, you're gonna have a long-lasting motorcycle. As an example, here's my Figurati Designs magnetic dipstick. Go check them out. But I just pulled this out of my 153 and look at this oil. To me, it looks dark. So I'm gonna dump this oil and I'm gonna change it. For those of you that are wondering, since my last oil change, I took this motorcycle from Houston over to Knoxville, Tennessee, to Nashville, Tennessee, rode the Tail of the Dragon, hung out over with Thundermax guys over at White House, Tennessee. And just this past weekend, I was coming and going from Born Free, Texas. And this motorcycle did not disappoint. It was just fast, reliable, and just awesome. And in that time frame, that's how dark this motorcycle oil got. Now, it could probably keep going for another 800 or 1,000 miles, but for my personal liking, I'm gonna dump the oil today and I'm gonna change it with AMSOIL. Here we're with my turbo motorcycle, which has right around 40,000 miles. And I'm about to pull this oil and I'm just gonna look if it's good. Oh, you see this right here? This to me is okay. This to me, I hope the light is better. This to me is clean oil that is not dark yet. So for me, I'm not gonna change the oil on this one, but on the 153, I am. So again, this is what I mean about changing my motorcycle oil by sight. This motorcycle oil to me looks really, really good. I just wanna dip it real quick again and see what we're working with. Yep, it is nice and clear so far. So this is what I mean. If this motorcycle oil was on the darker side, I would dump this motorcycle oil and I would change it immediately. But I don't have to right now because it looks good to me. There it is, my secret is out. It's changing the oil by sight. Again, just remember this, change your oil by sight, because that's how I change it. Of course, it's a personal preference, to each their own. In terms of what engine oil I use, I've used Motul and I've used AMSOIL. Right now, I'm using AMSOIL because it's readily available and I get it all the time. And honestly, I haven't had any issues with AMSOIL on either of my motorcycles or my personal vehicles. So AMSOIL for my primary, for my transmission, and for my engine oil. But in terms of the engine oil, again, I change my motorcycle oil by sight. And it's a secret that I've kept for really no reason, because on one side, people are gonna tell you, dude, why are you changing it that often? Like, you're just wasting money. That could be the case. But I tell you what, I've ridden these motorcycles very aggressively, each one of them, and I've never had an engine failure. I've never had an engine blow on me. I've never had any issues. And I contribute that to the oil, how frequent I change the oil. For example, on my turbo right here, you're supposed to change the lifters on these motorcycles, these kind of high power motorcycles every, I don't know, I would say 10, 12,000 miles or so. But this turbo motorcycle right here that has 131 cubic inches in the Trask turbo and has 200 plus horsepower, I've never changed the lifters. That's right, and these lifters at a minimum have around 35,000 miles. Now, I'm not saying there's not a lifter that's probably bad, but I don't hear no ticks. I don't hear no nothing, and not that the tick's the only indication they have bad lifters or push rods or valves or anything like that. But man, this bad boy runs, and it runs smooth. It's as quiet as it can be for a freaking turbo 200 plus horsepower motorcycle, but I've never had any issues. And it could be that I just got a good batch from the lifter manufacturer. Or it could be the fact that with that end that I change my oil pretty often. So that's my gauge, and that's why I tell you guys, change your motorcycle oil whenever you see it dark. And of course, I go back, excuse me, I digress, excuse me, I go back. It's a personal preference. This entire builds are personal preference. Do you need a 131 turbo? Do you need a 131 naturally aspirated? Do you need a 153, 200 wheel horsepower motorcycle? Probably not, but it's a personal preference. Now, my changing the oil, I pause because changing the oil is so inexpensive, and I contribute that to neither of my motorcycles here, over here, right there, ever blowing up on me. And just being reliable and being sound, dude, like it's awesome. So if that is you that doesn't mind changing your oil all the time, let me know in the comments because, sorry about that, I had to clear my throat a little bit there, but you know, as I mentioned before, I've ridden 200 miles to and from work, and my engine oil, because the traffic, is just dark almost immediately, right? I've gone 2,000 miles just highway easy riding, and the engine oil is still good. But that 2,000 miles is my benchmark. No matter what the oil looks like, I change my oil. And that started with my Trask turbo kit, because anybody that has a turbo kit, they recommend for you to change your oil every 2,000 miles. Sounds like, but honestly, I don't mind it at all. Dump the oil, new oil filter, new oil, and you're good to go. So that's my biggest kept secret. Again, if this is something that you guys have already done or are considering on doing, let me know. But again, me personally so pretty much right here, I have 600 horsepower. That's pretty much what I have here. 200 even over there, and there's more coming to the 153. Look, these bikes are fast, but there's always somebody faster. And with that being said, there's stuff coming to the 153. And this bad boy, when I boost it up, you know, I have to have some VP 109 fuel in there, some race fuel. I'm probably pushing around 230, possibly 240, depending on the weather. The dyno can't keep this wheel down, so we'll just leave it like that. And then this one over here, like I said, just right now is pushing 167, but throw a little bit of race fuel and do a little bit of tuning that we have options here, it bumps it up to about $180. And so again, my calculations tell me that this right here, you're looking at 600 horsepower and 6 cylinders, 2, 4, and 6. So again, there's a lot that goes into keeping your motorcycle reliable and maintenance free and enjoyable. And one of the easiest and biggest contributors to that is the secret that I just shared with you guys. So there you have it. Anyhow, I'm curious what you guys think about that in the comments. Let me know. But that's one of my secrets. Stay tuned for the other videos, because I'm actually going to give you some really good reviews on some expensive parts that are on the market that you might like and not like, based off of me riding them for thousands and thousands and thousands of miles without being sponsored. So you're going to get the full 100% raw review. Y'all be good, be safe.